Hello, this is the news of Lisa Luciarden. This is Emergency America. This is an emergency America. We need to protect and save our America. Under Biden and Kamala, we have open borders. We have Hezbollah, we have ISIS, we have Hamas, we have Russian criminals all in our country at this very moment. We have open borders, and we also had Chinese CCP coming in with rolling suitcases. We also had criminals coming in from other areas and even the African countries. They came in also that were all military-aged men, as I told you before. This is Lisa Luciarden, and I'm a political analyst, and I've said things that have happened in 2009 and 10 and 11 and all the way through every year, and they have come to pass. If we do not listen and listen to the divine command, we need to vote President Trump. We have offices. I call them offices. They call them cells of Chinese all set up in all the different states that could come and hurt us anytime. Also, we have EMFs that they're putting on the people to weaken the people. And is it from the government or is it from China? And China also has drones that attack freedom fighters and victims. And also China came in and they've stole many information systems of five companies in our United States. Look it up. Of old companies that it's a legacy that they had to close up because China stole the information. And you don't see that on the news. You don't see these things on the news. And we have the most debt. And I'm going to make another speech on this, but we have the most debt in any country in any country in existence of time. The most debt. We have trillions and trillions of dollars of debt. We have trillions and trillions of dollars of debt of interest rate. And because they just keep on printing money, and they don't make sure that there's jobs, because America is a country that is a business. And not until President Trump got in, we were bringing our business back, and we opened up our oil wells, and we were bringing back our retail and all our small, large businesses. But then when President Trump and Kamala came in, they closed the oil wells, and we have terrible business of small and large businesses. And 90% of the people do not want elite communist controls. The only 10% of the ones that control are the government officials that believe in communism. This is terrible. We need to work together to come to terms with the truth. Kamala and Biden have ruined our country. It's never been in more danger ever in the world, ever in the whole world of any country. It's the same thing if any other country opened their borders like that. In any ways, it's part of the geopolitical power. India has to protect their borders now because China is coming in. It's very serious. And then we have the drug situation, and there's 9 criminal cartels. We cannot vote Kamala, and we cannot vote in the elite communists, which she's a part of. She's controlled by elite communists. Did you see all that money that they give her? 310 millions of dollars. She has so much money that she uses to go from place to place to speak about nothing that's true. Do you know, how are we going to pay for the immigrants? She doesn't have any ideas. My idea, my name's Lisa Luciarden, is that we need to work together with the businesses and the people that brought them here, and also the people that are their nation, where they're from. They need to support the immigrants, help us support the immigrants. And we need to demand the money by money or by commodities or property. And that's how that will help us. And President Trump is for the Bitcoin. President Trump is for America first. President Trump is to protect people and come together to in unity and justice for all. President Trump is taking care of the children. President Trump is taking care of the business. President Trump didn't have any wars. Do you know that under Biden and Kamala, we had Russia war? You know this, but why are you not waking up in Pennsylvania? Wake up, I ask you, wake up. You cannot have a person that's a president that wasn't able to protect our country with the Russian and Ukraine war, and they don't know how to negotiate to stop it. And now we have the Hamas and Israel war, and they didn't have enough negotiation. Other people had to do negotiation. And it's terrible because I negotiated about the abortion issue. They used a lot of my ideas. That's when Pelosi was in. That was last year in Texas. And they used a lot of ideas, but then they ruined it because they distort the beauty of truth. When people want to pit in each other, when people want to take advantage of the innocent of a country, first they pit people against each other. They tell truth a lie, lie a truth. And then 3, they make big problems and big projects. And that's what they did that's why they brought all the immigrants. They're telling the immigrants that they'll make them citizens. And they're going to abuse the immigrants. One out of every 4 gets abused and it becomes a genogram. And they pushed all the Americans out. Many are homeless. State Street, Vanguard, and BlackRock. Did you know they're big top companies? And they're Mr. Fink, he's one of the leaders. He is going to work with President Trump so we can protect our country. President Trump has all the leaders that are true, that want to protect our country. And Mr. Fink wants to help to protect our country because by 2030, 80% BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard are supposed to own all the real estate. And he wants to work together. And Vanguard has also done a beautiful job with making investments for people. They do not want Kamala in. They do not want at all. Kamala's saying things that she cannot deliver. She cannot deliver. She has not delivered. She has not delivered. She opened the borders, but the borders are very serious. It goes beyond just borders. There's geopolitical powers in our country and businesses, faulty businesses that are criminal. It's very serious. And it will come to pass that things will happen no matter who's president, that it will show we need to protect our country. And do you know that they shut the oil wells? And we lost 140,000 jobs, but more than that. And they didn't know how to write up leases, brothers and sisters, in Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin. They didn't know how to write up leases. You know, I'm an international business person, okay, and a student, and also I'm a consultant for political ideas and theological ideas, and also science and military. I'm a specialist, and do you know that they were not even able to protect our country with all that they've done? Do you know that they were not able to protect in our country of all that they said they've done? They have not done what they could have done. Do you know that the pharmaceutical companies, you don't see them talking about that? $100 billion Pfizer made, and 20 people became billionaires. And they didn't the government should take them to court. And they made that vaccine without the proof. And even JF Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy, JF Kennedy's Senator Kennedy talks about this. And I talk about many of these things that he's already said. My name is Lisa Luchard, and you can see in my work, Podcast Business News, and also I have a new one, Bold and Brave. This is very, very serious. You can look at my work, lisaluchard.com, and Arise to God's Truth in my books. But number one, they could not finish any of the works. Do you know that our inflation is the highest inflation? But the most interesting thing is, it's very serious. His name is Dylan Jovan, Behind the Markets. He's famous consultant for investors. He's very famous because remember, I told you, I study under investors. And he said that we've never been in in any other country, and these are not my statistics, these are a famous man named Dylan Jovine behind the markets. He said that we've never had a more higher rate of money that we owe in debt ever in any country, just since Biden has gotten in. So how do you think that they're going to take care of America? We have war within our country. They gave $60 billion to the immigrants that they're going to use. They're going to use the immigrants too. The immigrants are not free from everything. They'll use them and abuse them. And then they gave $6 billion only to the veterans. This is terrible. And then hundreds and hundreds of children they just let and gave to anybody, and they didn't interview the people. And that's our big responsibility. And I asked Pelosi to help me with that. And no, she didn't. Pelosi last year made more money in the stock market than Warren Buffett. And then she is saying that she wants Kamala to be president. Is that true? I thought she wanted President Trump. That's what I thought. Pelosi said she wanted President Trump. So how do you think that she could be president? Now come on, keep the list. Then Russia came and threatened us and brought a boat over there right in Cuba. And do you know in Cuba, China's building war tools there right next to Puerto Rico. We need to be very careful. And just like many men said, his name is Steve. He's specialized in, he's independent like I am, and he talks about all the emergencies of the military. And he talked about that also, about we have to be very careful. But I'm a geopolitical specialist. It's in my work. I have a chapter on geopolitical specialty. And Dr. Benson, I asked to work with him, but his book, Dr. Benson's Carson, he's a wonderful man, but my book is just like what he wrote in all my story, because I'm a geopolitical specialist in relationship to America and other countries, and it's exactly what I've been talking about for years. And I pray that I could work with him one day and speak with him, that beautiful man. And so we need to come together. Even Dr. Benson said he's for President Trump. Now I told you, and the oil, they weren't able to write the leases. They stopped the oil well, and more than 140,000 jobs were lost because people hire other people. Then they just left all the scraps. Those are 3 portions of the energy and the main systems that we have. And then I told you 5 large companies closed up in America because China stole their ideas. Then all the borders open and we are in trouble. There's war within there. And you know that Iran has nuclear? I told you for a while, for a year now, because I study under men. I study under men and women and teach me on things to keep apprised. And then I assess and I pray also. So I know, like President Washington. And you know that Iran just needed to make a handful of uranium, okay, last year. And you know that they have, that's what they're saying, Steve, they have uranium ready to take us out. This is very serious. And you think that Kamala could protect us? No, Wisconsin, please. No, beautiful Pennsylvania and beautiful Wisconsin, please listen. You are incorrect. You are incorrect. And we cannot kill the babies at 7 to 9 and 8 months old like Hillary wanted to do. What does she want to do? What does Kamala want to do? Does she want to kill the babies at 8, 9, 7 months old? I beg you, Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, these people cannot take care of America. I am a specialist. And what I've said before, it's come true. And this is divine command. That we need to vote in Trump. In Trump, we didn't have the wars. We didn't have inflation. We had beautiful business, building up beautiful business. And also on President Trump's team, not only is Mr. Fink, but also many top billionaires, but Elon Musk is on President Trump's team. And Elon Musk loves the people. He wants to do the best for people, Elon Musk. And he's brilliant. He's touched by God, of a genius. A genius to help the people. He's given more jobs than Kamala is. He alone could be a president, Elon Musk. This is terrible. Do you know that she has not given the jobs? She doesn't even have solutions on what to do. A lot of presidents in the day, they have solutions and then they tell them what to do like a manager, and then it follows through, because I do that. I'm a consultant, say, do this, do this, do this, and they've taken my ideas and it's worked. But she hasn't even had solutions for direction since we've been in. And Dylan, it's D-Y-L-A-N-D, J-O-V-I-N-E, and behind the markets. And I'll send that information to you. He says that we've never been in the more higher debt ever. We owe trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. But that this is a very serious way what they're causing. So do you think that they could protect our country? No. She knows nothing about geopolitical power. She has never even been to Europe. I've been to Europe more days and more time than she has. I have many solutions. I talk about America and political problems for many, many years and solving problems. She knows nothing about science. She should be running over there and figuring out how to figure out the pharmaceutical companies, because the pharmaceutical companies are killing the people. And the foods, she does nothing about that. She doesn't even negotiate with our Gates, the genius of Gates that knows how to manage and get things and money, even though he's not a scientist. We have to beg, and I'm right there, I'll beg him to make the foods good. This is terrible. And did you see how Warren Buffett has to sell this and sell that? And all that he's selling all around because of what's happening to our country? And we could make our country work. We could make our country work. We have the new nuclear, it's only a small nuclear energy that we could use to make our fossil fuels. But we need to use fossil fuels also. We can't just use green windmills and electricity. No way. That's not even perfected. And it will lose many jobs. You have a balance. And we should never stop the fossil fuels until we get an effective energy system where the people could afford it, which they have fusion. And I talked about that and told you about in 20 years. We need to wake up. And they did nothing about a statement of the transgender situation and the woke system and the school system. Transgender are humanity, and that's what they decided, but it shouldn't be in the younger children's school. They don't know what's right for them. And the parents are not going to live their life for the rest of their life, so the parents should not choose them to be transgender either, because they're not going to live that person's life. And look at our school system is the worst it ever has been ever in the century of time. What have they done? And they use chemical spraying in every state. Your sister here, Lisa Luciard, has been to many states. And it's in my writings, because a beautiful man told me he's a specialist. Actually, a friend of mine that knows a specialist about spraying, and it's in my work. He talks about the chemical spraying. They're trying to kill us. This is terrible. And the EMFs, they put it through the electric lines and the phones. And all the way we prep foods and everything, which I talked about for years, in the plastics. I started with the plastic issue in 2007. Now we need to come together and we could work together. We could work together. We could help these immigrants that are in, but we cannot have the criminals. The criminals, the poor things, many of them are forced in crime and some aren't. But they still need to be corrected. And our children have to be protected. And they pushed everyone aside, all the Americans. And they brought the immigrants in. They could have brought them in legally. But no, because they have a plan to destroy America, make her a third world country and a communist one world government. We cannot do this. We need justice and liberty for all. And we are a Judeo-Christian nation, but I want to repeat this to you, brothers and sisters, whether you're Hindu, whether you're Buddhist, whether you're pagan, whether you're Christian, Catholic, whether you're Jewish, whether when any other religion you are God's people that he created. And that's what Judeo-Christianity is about. We treat each other with justice, and that's what our Constitution is about. And it has biblical precepts because the people that wrote the Constitution, that was their first book that they studied on, was the Bible. But the Bible has a unity of truth. What truth is the best for humanity. Read Daniel 4. The best of humanity, to give what the people need, not what they decide, not what the man made that they decide. They want their own ideology. I have not looked about what she has said, what she was going to say and to give to the people, Kamala. But she has not delivered in many ways. I'm not pointing his fingers. It's my responsibility to say the facts about the truth, because I am a political analyst and a protector for America. This is very, very, and I've done it through also military. I've told them many things about military, and I'm also a mediator. I've tried to mediate. I have not tried. I've done a lot of mediation with the wars, with getting all the Muslim groups to come together and have that big meeting. That was my inspiration. And also for the, I try to work with Iran and Hezbollah and Hamas with giving them support to bring peace in Israel. This is very serious in Russia. And unfortunately, and this is my work is perfected and it shows. I said that by Putin, I begged Putin because I've always respected him. And I stayed very close to understand that the whole system there, what was going on with the war. And I begged Putin that he was going to lose his country and lose much of his country if he didn't stop. And now he has lost half his country, and he's lost his people too. Half of his population of the young people have died, and he's lost much economic. And the poor thing, it's terrible. I don't believe in him the way he did the war. It's a scepter of darkness to me. The European people had to protect herself. But I begged and begged, but I told what was going to happen to Putin. You can look at my work. I told and I ran. I says, in 10 days, if they don't stop in Hezbollah, something's going to happen. And that the main man died. Another man died. And they still have to stop. I beg them. Those are my sisters and brothers, whether they're Muslim or not. We are under the God of Abraham, like President Washington would say, and they are made by God. And we have to respect each other to try to work together to make freedom. Did she ever try to do it? Did she know anything about these things? Did you ever hear her speak, do any of that? She never even went to the border. I told you that there was going to find body parts, and they're selling body parts and using body parts, different countries, and selling body parts. Not only did they find body parts on the border, across the border in Phoenix, Arizona, which I said they would, last year, October the 7th, when the same day they bombed, but now, and I told them that they're going to find 9 very serious things in these beautiful Arizona. They have found many things already. There's 9 main businesses, main tragedies that are so sick. That's one of them. Then also that there was a big bust for a multi-million dollar medical issues, and then a big fentanyl bust. And she didn't even have any ideas. I told her I wanted all those fentanyl companies found. And up in Northern California, no one does anything about it. There's illegal marijuana, and they abuse people there up in Northern California. And do you know that there's only less than 10% marijuana dispensaries that are legal in the United States, in California area. And United States, maybe 20%, but in California, less than 10%. In Northern California, the illegal ones are Chinese and the cartels. And thank God they found fentanyl of tons and tons of it, multi-million dollars inside. There were peels of fentanyl inside the tractor. That's what the lady said. Look it up. Do you think that they could protect our country? No. They haven't been. we have the highest debt ever in the existence of time. And then we don't have we don't have the petrodollar. You know what that means? Where they trade in oil with the dollar. This is very important. Listen, brothers and sisters of Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. In Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, please, I beg you right now, I beg you, it's a petrodollar that we don't have anymore. The BRICS, there's a BRICS now, and you know that they form together. All these things happen. All these bad things happen. All these terrible tragedies happen just since Biden and Kamala got in. Think. Open your brain. Think. We do not have the BRICS. We are not in the BRICS. So all the oil and all the trading is sold under another form of their own currency. They want to make their own currency, or they sell it in the yuan, the China dollar. Did you know that? They sell in the yuan, the China dollar. Did you know that? Even though China's weak, and they are also in a recession, they owe much money, but they want to come to war with us. But they might not even have to come and get us with tools of force, because they try to get us sociologically and take all our businesses. They make 93% of what we use every day. And President Trump is the first president that put tariffs. Did she do anything? Did Kamala make sure that our manufacturing was working on? When President Trump came, was not put in like he should have been. 2020, he won. Do you know that there was a handful of 16% retail manufacturing came to was 6 or 16%. Look it up. A manufacturing of retail came back to our country because President Trump made that deal. He's the first one to put tariffs. He's the first one to do that big deal with the harvest, the agriculture with China. Now wake up! Did they do anything? No, all they have done is brought hell in our country. Hell in our country. And so going back to the BRICS, now our dollar we're so 60% less. That's what Dylan, D-Y-L-A-N-D, Jovine from Behind the Markets. He's a famous investor man. Look him up, because it's not hearsay. This is not hearsay. I have a team. My name's Lisa Luciard. Even though I'm independent, I have a team of the right information. And he said our dollar could go down 60% and we're in trouble. And they don't want to buy any more bonds anymore. You know why? People don't want to buy our bonds, the dollar bonds. And that's why I asked, not Kamala, not Biden, President Trump and myself, President Trump, that we're going to work with Bitcoin, a major form. And I said I wanted to have the bonds made with Bitcoin. I said it a long time ago because I studied under these famous economicists. Do you know that we are in trouble with our money? 60% of the dollar could be down 60%. Do you know people don't want to buy our bonds, okay? Because they're afraid the dollar's so low. Do you get it? So they don't want to buy it. So they're in trouble. So there's many things going on. Plus, there's problems with the stock. It's called a PE ratio. PE, it's a PE where they sell the stock at a certain time. It's 16%. You sell the stock at 16% of PA, and then you sell it to get, because it's at its high. But it takes double the time now, almost more than double the time to get the stock up to a higher level to sell it. There's many issues. There are problems. So the stock market could go down 50%. And you saw how fast that Bitcoin, thank God we have it though. But it will, I believe it is a coin, but they could take it from right under our feet any day, any time. There's many things that's happened with our country. And so the dollar could go down 60%. They don't want to make any bonds anymore. They don't want to no one wants to buy the bonds because the dollar's not worth any, because we're not the petrodollar. Okay, are you with me? Then there's problems with the stock. It could go down 50%. And we can't. And then the homes are going down 40%. And then they have the home equity lines, and who's going to pay all the home equity lines? And people are going to lose the value of their homes. And then unemployment is very low. And because the government doesn't have money to give jobs, then we have inflation, and people don't have money to spend. They gave the money to the immigrants, you people. Come on, wake up, wake up. Instead of making jobs for our people, I told you what we need to do. I have solutions that's common sense that other countries do it, like Saudi Arabia and Dubai and India that are at the top and done well. They're doing infrastructure like I asked. They're self-sufficient. They make good contracts internationally, but we need to redo our infrastructure. That could bring money in our cities. We need to educate the children properly with new ideas for ecosystems and biology and sciences and art and creation, and take away that computer and phone away. Did she talk about that? No. You haven't heard her say one thing about the children. Or has she? Maybe she has. I haven't listened to her. But she was here for 3.5 years. That's what I hear all over the news. 3.5 years she did nothing. That's what I hear. I'm not pointing fingers. It's my responsibility. I've done this. You could see the pattern of my work since 2021. I had a podcast with Podcast Business News. But I've been writing about this. Our need to give to the world. Heal America, Love, and God, my book. It forecasts these problems, and it says what we need to do for America and arise to God's truth in many articles and many speaking. So we're in trouble economically, which is important for a nation. And I told you what those things are. We're in trouble, serious trouble, and safety, because they opened up the borders and they didn't know how to do economy. We're in trouble as a unity because they're tricking us, and they're not telling the people the truth. The people don't understand, and they have veils on their eyes. We need to pray that people wake up. It's not Republican and Democrat. It's not the ideology. It's to save America. To save America. And remember, President Trump has the best people on his team. And you know who the best people is? He professes that God is the one in control. Okay? In all countries, when God is in control, that's a Judeo-Christian nation country too. We are. Do you know that in the Old Testament and the New, when we follow God gives us the best of what our country should be. Did you know that? For me, as President of Washington, I am a believer of Jesus Christ. For me. Okay? But I also believe in the love of humanity. And I believe that all humans were created by God, and it's their choice. But the greatest countries that serve their people has the precepts of God. And that's what President Trump does. He has the precepts of God. So does Elon Musk. So does Tucker. So does Rogan. All those people that are famous that help him. And I'm the lay person that helped him, but I'm helping you. And he's helping you. He's the voice of the people. Elon is the voice of the people. J.D. Vance is the voice of the people. He's a beautiful man, J.D. Vance. He's an example of how the American dream, the beautiful man, has formed into a man of integrity, a man of caring, a family, a man to save our country. That is what J.D. Vance is, and he has the love to save our country, and he has sound wisdom, sound knowledge, like President Trump and Elon Musk, Tucker, Mr. Fink is on the team with President Trump. Do you realize that? You wake up now, brothers and sisters. But the most person who's on the team for you, my people, is God. God is on the team for us. That's the most best foundation for our America. We can't get away from it. And many sports people now, and many Democrats now, like Tulsi, the leader in Hawaii, she is now Republican. She's a beautiful, brilliant, tender, but powerful, loving woman that loves the people. She even talks about the truth. Now, wake up. Many Democrats have crossed over. Many Democrats. Now, please, I beg you. And many African American Democrats have said this. I see it all over. In many working Mexicans, they believe the truth. We need to come together. So how are we going to do this? Like President Washington did. I don't know whether you know the history, brothers and sisters listening to this, but in 1776, President Washington didn't know what he was going to do because Britain had a larger army. And he wanted to save America because he didn't want to be controlled. No one wanted to be controlled by Britain at the time. And so he got on his knees and prayed in the cold snow. They have a special picture. Look them up. And in saving our country, and he prayed to Jesus. That's what we all need to pray. We all need to pray to protect our country, but we need to vote President Trump. And I gave you the argument. I am a political analyst, science and philosophy, geopolitical specialist. I'm a politician. I call myself a politician. My name is Lisa Luchard, but I analyze things. I don't live, and I haven't been trained by rhetoric. I am trained by, and since a young girl, and now I'm trained by asking questions. And that's why we have to ask questions. So God bless you, and all is going to be well. All will be well. We need to vote President Trump. Thank you so much. And J.D. Vance, God bless them. God bless them. And Elon Musk, Mr. Fink, Mr. Tucker. And I know I've had so many people, Bongio, and Steve Bannon. It's terrible. They put him in jail, and he was protecting us from China. Do you know that? I learned from Steve Bannon. He's a specialist with China. In my book talks about Steve Bannon. I even made a song about him. He went to jail for us. In Giuliani, the beautiful attorney that's given his life for the people, and he gives his life for the people. Giuliani, all those people that work together, and all President Trump's family, that beautiful Laura, and the beautiful sons, and Ivana, and beautiful Melania, the First Lady. She's amazing. She is amazing. And these are the things that we are so blessed with. All these people that care and love America. And all President Trump's team, I know there's many, but remember, I'm independent, so I only have a certain amount of time to do things and learn things, because I don't necessarily study them. I deliver information and then give it to them. That's what I do. So I don't know all the names of all the people that care about America. And all those people I said care about America. And I heard Bezos loves America, and he wants to vote. Is that true for President Trump? And many of the billionaires do, that protect our country and care. I think Warren Buffett wants President Trump. Is it true? I think Zuckerman wants President Trump. Those are the people that are know how to do business. And these people, Kamala and Biden, they don't know how to do big business. Things have changed, in the last 20 years. There's a larger volume of business and monies people need to work with at the same time. And there's geopolitical powers. There's so many other specialities that come in because of the technology. And I told you I have a special chart about the paradigms of power. That's another subject. But we need to integrate the billionaires into the system where they help us to make companies and systems to help America, not to give all the money to the government. They don't know how to make money. The billionaires are the ones that know how to make money. They need to work together with the government without having constraints of biases, and they pay all those people in the House and Senate. They're paid by people and voted in because of what they give the big companies. We cannot have that anymore. We need to go in there simply and protect the people first. God bless you. God bless you. This is Lisa Lucier, and we have to vote President Trump. I pray, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, thank you so much for realizing today that you, in Wisconsin, you have to work together to protect America at this time, and realize that that is the only way that we're going to stay alive is voting in Trump. Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, please listen. Vote to save your legacy, save your life, to save your children and your family, and for your future jobs and all that you work for. Otherwise, it could be lost. It will be lost if Biden gets in and Kamala. Many things would be lost from the people because they're elite communists and they don't know how to deliver a country to get it on its feet, to be a self-sufficient country. But under President Trump, we were self-sufficient. Our economy was the best it ever was, ever in existence of time. He gave money to the blacks. He gave more money to the black universities than any other, and more jobs to the Mexicans than any other. We did not have inflation. We didn't have all these wars. And we had peace, even though there were some problems because the Democrats were trying to stop the peace because they want to change our country and make it a third world socialistic country. We can never be that. We need to be freedom fighters of love and justice and freedom. God bless America. I know we could do this. Vote President Trump and J.D. Vance. God bless you. Bye-bye.